Hey guys, today I want you to take a really close look at this glass of water. Let's look. Let's look at it close. Okay, so how much water do you think is in here? Okay, do you think it's half full or do you think it's half empty? Well, the truth is, it's both right. If the glass is half full, then it's also half empty. But some people like to use this kind of a question to test your personality. An optimist looks at the positive, and the glass is half full. The pessimist looks at the negative and says that the glass is half empty. So there's a story in the Bible about optimists and pessimists that changed the future for an entire nation. The children of Israel had traveled out of slavery in Egypt towards the promised land, the land of Canaan. And God promised to them from their forefather Abraham. When they arrived at the border of Canaan, their leader Moses sent 12 spies to the promised land. When the spies came back, two men, Joshua and Caleb, reported that the promised land was everything God had said it was. It was a land filled with milk and honey. It was ripe for the taking. And God was faithful, and God was going to fulfill his every promise. But the 10 spies brought back a different story. Canaan was dangerous, and a land filled with giants and terrifying warriors. Their cities were well fortified, and their people were very skilled warriors. So which of the two groups were right? The 10 who saw the giants, or Joshua and Caleb? Well, they were both right. Canaan was the promised land, a land of milk and honey, but it was also a country of giants. God had promised to give this land to the Israelites, but after all the miracles that God had performed to lead the Israelites to the promised land, who do you think they listened to? And believe me, he fulfilled a lot of miracles going through the wilderness. They listened to the 10 men who talked about the giants. They were so afraid of the giants, some of them said they were better off being slaves in Egypt. Because the Israelites ignored Joshua and Caleb, God punished the entire nation. They were forced to wander in the wilderness for 40 years until every one of them had died. And God would let their children, led by Joshua, into the promised land instead. So one day you're going to be faced with giants of your own, challenges that seem impossible to overcome. And when that day comes, there may be people telling you to give up. But if God has made a promise to you, be careful that you listen to him and not the pessimist. Believing in the Lord is not mere optimism. It's called faithfulness. And when you are faithful to the Lord will be faithful and bless you with all that he's promised. And that's all I have today. Bye.